Hey there, this is Perch. I'm looking at The Trap. The Trap is a new crowdfunded book. It's got a pretty ambitious $35,000 goal. I do appreciate, by the way, the crowdfunded comics that set higher goals, especially when you know you're going to knock it out of the park. You know that you're going to at least make, $30,000, $40,000. You know you're going to make that, set that bar higher. I always hate these crowdfunders, like they know they're going to make that kind of money and they set like the goal at $500. It's so they can get that crazy percentage of how much they've exceeded that goal. But I don't know. Like, is anyone? This is what I was questioning. Is anyone going to that and going, "Ooh, I need to get on board with this project because it's 3,000% of its original goal. It must be good." I don't know if anybody thinks that way. I think they just look at the dollar amount. But anyway, I'm off track. Anyway, this is a new comic coming out. And I'm going to try and do more of these. We're looking at crowdfunded books and kind of analyzing kind of the marketing and how it's put out and everything else. This is listed as a project we love, so kind of some additional promotion here. It's a graphic novel, and it's by NFL star Lance Briggs and Kyle Higgins. And this is a sci-fi graphic novel. I believe it's over 100 pages about sports, race, economic inequality, illustrated by Danilo Beyruth and colors by Tamra Bonvillain. And this is a new comic. So let's check it out here. We can look at, our little movie that's probably going to have some
My name
stuff.
is Lance
Here we go.
Briggs. Many of you might know me from the days that I played professionally for the Chicago Bears. But what you may not know is that I've been a fan of comics all my life. I've known Kyle for a number of years now. Obviously, I'm a fan of his work.
I've been a diehard Chicago Bears fan my entire life. In a lot of ways, I actually attribute my early love of storytelling and drama to noon kickoffs and fourth quarter comebacks. So the opportunity to come in and build out a new world with one of my all-time favorite Bears in Lance has been incredibly exciting. The best science fiction is allegory. And so while there are a lot of extraordinary aspects to the world of The Trap, at its core, this is a story about very relatable people in an environment that is not all that dissimilar from our own. It's taking issues of the day and recontextualizing them through a science fiction lens.
Jalen is a special character. He wants to be great. He knows that there's greatness in him, but he also knows when the race is over, he has to go back to the perils and dangers of everyday life.
Lance and I have been working on this story for about 1.5 years now, bringing all the different aspects of our own unique lives together to build something that is both a product of the two of us, as well as a way to talk about issues that are close to both of our hearts. Joining us are two artists who I absolutely love and have been wanting to work with for a very long time, Danilo Beyruth and Tamra Bonvillain. As you can see from these early pages here, sci-fi has never looked this good.
Now you know a little bit about what we're doing. Now we really hope you'll join us in bringing The Trap to life.
All right, so that's our intro. And I do appreciate, so kind of digesting what's going on here, I think that's a pretty good summary, kind of what's going on. You get a reasonable sense of what's going on, not too much hype. I do believe that the general sci-fi has never looked that good. I always think that that's getting yourself into some trouble. It's basically, it's never been this good. These are the perfect people to work with. This is the most amazing. You just gotta you have to find a good balance. You want to put a little bit of hype in, but you can also take it a little bit far. I thought the story about how they're relating, it's funny. Kyle Higgins talking about, hey, I loved Bears football and kind of these fourth quarter comebacks, and that's what led to storytelling and tying that into Lance Briggs. It's both amusing as a story, and it fits. I have a hard time going, yeah, yeah, that analogy makes complete sense, but it's fun. I appreciate the effort there. I think that's an interesting kind of way to put it, and I do think that telling some of the drama and the storytelling of sports and comebacks and everything else, it's an interesting mix. Anyway, the topic itself, the sci-fi, the one bit that I always feel like nobody's really nailed it yet. And I'm not picking on Kyle Higgins or Lance Briggs here for this, but this idea of hey, it's science fiction and you're showing these screenshots, these aliens and kind of very otherworldly characters, some nice character design there. And it's like, but it's relatable to real life. And it's like, I hear you, but it never really comes across that way. It always is like it's a fantastical universe and either embrace it, but it's like it's an allegory for current life as well. That's where things start to get a little dodgy, I think. So let's go into what this story is. We heard about it. It's, you know, Lance Briggs, Kyle Higgins, rising star artist. The rising star artist, Marvel has done that to death too. I just anyway, I don't know what a rising star means anymore, to be honest. And superstar colorist Tamra Bonvillain. Poor letter got no call out. Anyway, it is 120 in the video. In the video, they're there. I do appreciate. Look at this. The whole team is up here. Not Sasha E head, the designer, but you know, hey, put the letter in there. Good for you. I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, it's 120 page sci-fi graphic novel. We've got some, you know, so the various little pieces here. We got the $10 or more digital edition, $40 for an exclusive hardcover, $50. Well, we'll get into these for a minute. There's something missing here. Again, I'm just talking. There's a bit $10 to $40 that we'll get into that in a minute, but that's a big jump. I'm just going to point out there. And then estimated delivery of August 2021. There's a couple of problems, I think, in the fulfillment here. But anyway, Jalen Robinson, rising sports star, a not so great part of the galaxy, Earth. He's worked hard his whole life. Everybody is saying that Jalen is the next big thing. Future is his. This is his chance until it's not. What could go on? You know, let's look at this art for a minute. I mean, it's decent. I'll be honest. I don't think the coloring is at least in these previews. It's kind of muddy. It's you know, Tamra Bonvillain has some. That's a whole deal online with her and kind of there's a lot of stuff gets wrapped up in that. But generally speaking, put all that away. I think Tamra Bonvillain is a good colorist. I think does some really good nuanced work. This isn't her best, but again, we're seeing just a couple of pictures here. But I've seen more care, I guess maybe is a way to put it. It's in my opinion, it's a little flat than what I'm used to. So, you know, it is what it is. Days before the big race, everything changes. Jalen's surf rider board needs to be repaired. He doesn't have the money. How is he? He's the next big thing. Everyone's saying he's the next big thing. The future is his. He's got it in his hands, but he doesn't have enough money to repair his board. That seems, I mean, I'm sure there may be a storyline reason for that, but if you're a superstar, you know, I think, you know, get some sponsors. I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't know. He's desperate enough to agree to boost the ship belonging to one of Earth's interstellar senators. When the job goes wrong and Jalen Robinson accidentally shoots the senator, his once promising sports career threatens to succumb to the trap. So basically, you know, he needs money to repair his surfboard. He shoots. He agrees to steal, boost. I like he agrees to boost the ship, steal the ship belonging to one of the senators. I always feel like when people use boost, they're trying to kind of lighten, like it's not that bad. You're just boosting it. I mean, you know, yeah, you're stealing it. But, you know, it's boosting. It's boost. It's he's off the chain. It's all good. Anyway, just an interesting. Wordplay. It is what it is. I'm not. I sound like a boomer when I say stuff like that. But I always find it kind of funny. It's like, yeah, let's take. Anyway, I don't know. Whatever. But anyway, he shoots somebody. I still am hung up on the fact that he's a up and coming superstar, but he's hard up for money to repair his surfboard. So he's got to. You know, steal a spaceship, and then he murders somebody, and that falls him into the trap. I guess this is probably the senator, and here's him like, oh, looks like he's wearing like his gear from when he races. Like I wouldn't wear that to the crime. I'm just saying, you know, do you get a different jacket? You know, well, you don't wear your nationally, you know, internationally known sports gear to your heist. I just, you know, but anyway, maybe that's all the clothes he had. Anyway, bam, he shoots him. Whoop. And then drop the gun. And then the gun blows up, I guess. Anyway, that's not good. So then get out of there. And then I guess he's on a surfboard. So he got some part of it working. That's good news. The Trap is a fast-paced epic about making mistakes and the need for second chances, set in a world where hard work and talent is anything but a guarantee for success. All right, you know, one mistake can one I don't know if murder is necessary. I don't know if you're hired to steal a spaceship for somebody and you wind up killing someone. It's a mistake, sure, but you've kind of wandered into another category there. Anyway, and here's some character design, so that's all good. Like I said, some neat stuff. I'm not. I think there's some neat character design here. It looks science fiction-y. Some good stuff. Yeah, why not? And here's the statement from Lance Briggs. He growing up, talking about kind of the reality of, days, weeks without power, cold showers for school, struggles, and kind of how that ties into things. That's good. The trap system designed to keep you from succeeding. So this is interesting, and how they're going to play this off. So I've heard, I got pointed to this because it's like a rip from the headlines kind of, economic inequality and everything else. The challenge here, and I think this is the challenge with a lot of entertainment that does stories based on this, is that they set up a scenario where you're backed in to steal something to survive, to basically keep going. But in this case, the crux is that we've got somebody who's going to be a mega superstar in theory, really evolve up from the streets. Now granted, I haven't read the comic, so please, please nobody get offended. I haven't read it. There's probably answers to all this stuff in there, I'm assuming. So I'm just trying to be fair here. But if your story is like, you got this guy and he's got a lot of talent and he could be huge, he's the next big thing, and this is going to be his ticket out of the slums or out of the trap. But in order to truly make it, he's got to do a crime. That's the first step where it's like, there's a lot of people out there, I just want to point out, who have pulled themselves up from the poverty and bad situations. And it's not just work harder. You kind of address it. It's not just that you just work harder, comply with the police, you won't get hurt. We're throwing this stuff in here because that's very, that's very current topic, headline ripped, liquor stores on every corner, drugs at every turn, constant police stereotyping, shooting, sibling in the house, suffering for eviction notices, eviction notice because your brother stole everything your mother had. Yeah, I mean, these are terrible things. In the trap, there are very few ways to make money. As a result, residents resort to selling drugs, gang life, jail time, fewer job prospects, so the cycle repeats. That's a harsh reality. Yes, that trap does exist. And I do think that people sometimes do you just should work really hard, now we'll get you out of it. It doesn't really work that way. You can't just always work really hard to get out of it. Your environment is set up against you. It's hard to escape, no doubt about it. But to then take that and say the story you want to tell is that we've got this superstar athlete and he's going to steal a ship, so turn to crime unless he's in the trap. It is, I don't know, it'd be interesting to see how this plays out. Too many of these stories play out with look, this kid was forced into it and made a mistake and now he's on the run and isn't this terrible? And it's like, yeah, but you got to go, it's like the story needs to start a little bit more from hey, why it's got to examine more hey, he killed somebody. And it's an interesting thing. I don't know, we're going to get into complete social stuff here. So can this story work as a sci-fi comic book? Yeah, it'll be tough. I think it'll be tough to kind of pull this one off. But it could be an interesting story all the rest. That's why a lot of these stories, they often work well as just simple heists where a bad situation gets worse and gets worse. It's when you start to attach a lot of real life stuff to it, like the trap, that you run the risk of getting over your own skis. You run the risk of, you're trying to tell a social story, but you've injected so much kind of sci-fi fantasy and other pieces in it to move the story along that, how is this going to roll out? Are we going to reveal that the senator who gets shot was a really terrible person, and so it's kind of good that he gets shot? I mean, he's probably a dick. I mean, when we go up there and we look at these pages here, hey, he looks like an asshole. I mean, what can we say? Yeah, see, he's threatening him. How dare you steal my ship? And then he's kind of mean and he gets shot. So maybe that's where it all goes. It's like, it's good he got shot. Probably not. Again, who knows where they're going to the story, but it's going to require a lot of nuance that a futuristic sci-fi story about space surfboard riders is going to be tough to put out. But anyway, I mean, here's hoping. I think if you can tell a really compelling story about sports, race, economic inequality in a sci-fi package altogether, it's going to be tough. But good luck. So here we go. Here's the what we're getting. So this is an oversized. That's cool. Deluxe format hardcover. The Kickstarter exclusive edition will include features that will not be available anywhere else after the Kickstarter is over. So this comic is, probably heading toward Image after this is all done. And then we got a couple people: Delkin Shelby, Rod Reese, Elsa Cartier will be, so we're getting some exclusive prints. Okay. And we get some nice cards here. I don't know if this is something that's coming. Kyle Higgins looking very serious here. He's got a serious face on. Anyway, this is all good. So we have our team. Again, good for you for giving the letter some love. That's nice of you. So anyway, we get a lot. We get the shipping costs. Shipping $5, shipping to Canada, Mexico $20. God, that sucks. $40 overseas. It's a reality, but god damn, that's a lot of money. That's just a problem. Kyle Higgins, has some credibility, I think, in getting this. I don't really feel like there's a worry that this project won't get done. But now let's look at the pledges. So $10 gives you the digital version. All right. $10 for 120 pages. That's not bad. August 2021 is still like I always feel like you're doing this is like a year away. Yeah, but anyway. Then we jump to $40 for the hardcover. And one copy, hardcover 40. As I mentioned before, I think there's a gap in here. There's a huge gap. And maybe they're going to fulfill this gap by putting it out by Image, and there's going to be soft covers coming out there, whatever else. But this is a barrier. I'm just saying, to get funded, $10 is, okay, is digital. Some people go for that. Some people hate digital. It's the letters. I do respect that you're there, but now you're staring into my soul. I'm going to move you down here to just shipping. There we go. The $40 as your next step up is going to be a tough. And then you get to $10 more gives you the hardcover and a print by Rice. So, that's good. Or the Declan Shalvey or the Elsa Cartier. Good for them for at least keeping the prices all the same. So that's not bad, but $10 more for the hardcover and a print. All right. But again, we're up at $50 now. And then we get $70 gives you all three, or, the $40 plus the three. So the math adds up. And then we get a retailer tier. So let's talk about the retailer tier, because a lot of people mail me about this. So the retailer tier is $200 or more, 10 copies of the hardcover. Okay. So that's at a discount. And the Kickstarter exclusive version features not available anywhere else, exclusive art for this volume. We don't really hear much about that. So I think for a retailer, because people ask me this many, many times, I think number one, you need to give a mix of hardcover and softcover. Now, this is not offering any softcover, so maybe there just isn't planning to be any. But 10 copies, $20 a piece basically is the shelf cost. That's 50% of the $40. So we're basically saying MSRP is 40, and you're giving it to the retailers for 20, as long as they commit to 10. All right, that's not a bad mix. If a 50% MSRP price, wholesale to manufacturer suggested retail price. Keep forgetting, people don't always know what those acronyms are. But what's missing here, and I tell this to everybody, is if you're going to offer a retailer tier, in addition to the books, offer some basically the press kit, the marketing, the package. So this can come in a number of different forms. And in some cases, it's really easy. Offer an email template that's going to that the comic shop can send out to their customers, basically with the same kind of like this, all this stuff, with the marketing text, some preview art, some other pieces. It sounds ridiculous, like an email template. That's not worth any money, except you're selling this to retailers. Retailers need to turn that around and then send that out to customers. So make it really easy. So we'll deliver to you the press kit, the marketing kit for your books. So in addition to the comics, you're going to get some original art. That's cool. You can get some maybe some posters for your shop. You're going to get some thin horizontal tag or sticker that can go on the shelf to kind of promote that this is there. You're going to, again, it sounds really stupid, but I promise you, the email template, the marketing machine, the marketing templates to help the comic store basically get some pre-orders. So what the retailer who's looking at this is thinking, I don't know if I can sell 10 copies. Do I want to commit $200 of my money now? It's coming out in August, so this is a lot of forward thinking for me. But do I want to commit $200 basically into this project? Can I sell it? Who would be interested in it? And the retailer might turn around and then, email out to their mailing list and say, does anybody want this? Here's a link to the Kickstarter, everything else. And then of that email marketing, 1 out of every 20 people even open the email. 1 out of every 20 people that opens the email will even pay attention to this title if it's crammed into a bunch of other things. And so you start to narrow it down, where the audience that the comic shop's going to look at is going to be tiny very, very quickly. So the goal here is what the person doing the Kickstarter, anybody doing a retailer tier, they should be thinking this: how do I give some tools to the retailer to allow them to reach out to their customer base to get interest in this title? Another way to do this, if you really want to be bold, is outside of all these tiers, for free, provide a little link in here to say, hey, here's a pre-forwarded email for you, the retailer, to send to your customers now, before this campaign is over. Like right now, basically saying, hey, did you see this thing? We're going to be offering it in the store. If you order through us as the retailer, you pay the same price, you pay the $40, but you're going to get some exclusive art or something for this limited edition volume. So here's a reason why you want to sell through us, or buy through us. Now, this is no knock against the Kickstarter. Basically, this empowers your retail chain to help sell, to drive some people to your item here. You're giving them a little bit something more, but either way, you're getting the money. So again, I just think about it in terms of, how do you empower your retailer to become part of your sales team? This group here that's putting this book together, they've got their Kickstarter, they're putting all this in place. Good for you. You made a little video, all good. You got a little over a month to go to reach a $35,000 goal. Probably you'll get that, although this is a soft opening for the first couple days, but it will probably get there. But get your retailers out, get that market working for you. Give them an email that they can then forward and send along to their customers, encouraging them to order the book, either through the shop, ideally, or if they don't get a lot of interest, route them back to your Kickstarter to get, just get more people marketing this. The problem with this, and you're going to see this happen only more and more, is that too many of these Kickstarters and Indiegogos and crowdfunded campaigns, there's getting to be a lot of them, and they're getting lost in the noise. People are not, how do you even know to come to the trap? You're basically hoping that Bleeding Cool and Newsarama and those kind of places are going to promote it for you, and maybe they will, but what are you really going to get out of it? Who knows? So this is just a way to think about it, because I get a lot of questions about it. What would make it exciting for the retailer? What makes it exciting is not necessarily the amount of books or even the discount cut. It's a fine cut. What gets them excited is, here's an easy way. We're going to give you all the tools to sell this to make money. And the team that knows what those tools are these people right here. They already know those tools. So that's how you make the engine work for you. But anyway, I just wanted to break that down. This is The Trap by Lance Briggs, Kyle Higgins. And so I guess I got to ask you, are you interested in this book? Does the concept sound good? Is it interesting? Do any of the things I commented on? I mean, almost all these comments could apply to anything. Could apply to Cyberfrog. It could apply to not Cyberfrog, whatever that comic is. You know what I mean? It could apply to anything, any genre, anything. It's just in how you package and market this. But let me know what you think. Does this book look interesting? Are you on board? Are you not on board? How do you feel about crowdfunding in general? What's the price amount for you? So I talked about how, you go from $10 here to $40. What's the sweet spot to you? To me, it feels like there's a big miss somewhere in this kind of $25 range of this book. It feels like this is a big cliff. I think if you had a $25 range in here, this project would have double the money right now. But I feel like you've got to miss. 13 backers here, 35 backers here. It's good. 3, 0, 2. Aw, poor Declan Shalvey. Anyway, 8 backers getting everything. 1 backer at the $200 retail tier. It should be doing better than this. So maybe it will. I mean, it probably will. I don't know. But what about you? Do you like it? Leave a comment below. Like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. This has been The Trap. I'll try and do more of these. If you like them, tell me if you like me doing this. I will do more of it. Most importantly, though, thanks for